Hello, everybody, and welcome to the entertainment headquarters, and welcome to another trailer reaction. And this time, I am joined by my good friend, Mr. DJ Anubis of the Metal Tavern Radio.
What's up?
So, as you know, myself and Mr. DJ Anubis, if you follow this channel, are huge fans of kaiju, Godzilla, particularly, you know, like a lot of the Showa era and the Heisei era stuff. And then, of course, Legendary Pictures then decided to bring Godzilla and Kong together to a modern audience by creating the Monsterverse, which so far the Monsterverse has had 5 movies, and then I think it was 2023 they released their very first Monarch Legacy of Monsters season, which was dedicated to the early years to the organization known as Monarch, which keeps the identities and keeps the secret of these creatures that are on our planet from the public and the rest of the world. And
they're basically like the Men in Black for kaiju.
Yes, the Men in Black of kaiju, who basically keep everything under control. And it showed you the history from the early days, and then it did flash forwards to modern times. And the first series was quite an interesting show. Me and my good friend here, DJ Lewis, and his partner in crime, DJ Neko, did a review of the first season, if you want to check that out on the channel. But here we are with Monarch Season 2. And the premise for Season 2 is as followed. A rift has been opened to another world, allowing the sea creature known as Titan X, which looks like a cross between a Game of Thrones dragon and a giant squid, to wreak havoc on humanity, demolishing entire cities and creating total control, where Monarch have no choice but to garner the collective powers of Godzilla and Kong to take on this new world-collapsing threat. So, there we have it. Sounds bigger, more epic than the first.
Well, I think they probably listened to a little bit of the feedback. I mean, I think I talked about this on the teaser trailer I did, that, you know, you and I, we agreed that Monarch is kind of neat because it gives you kind of like more meat to the characters, meat to the storyline, whereas the movies don't really dive too much into the storyline. They try to make it about the monsters, but at the same time, people that had complaints about Monarch said, hey, we want more kaiju, we want more fights with the kaiju. So I think they're probably listening a little bit and bring a little bit more kaiju power into the second season, which would make sense.
Yes. See, I've always said I love Godzilla 2014. I love Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019 because as much as they're about the monsters, I like the fact they're more grounded and they do try to tell a story with the humans alongside the monsters, where 2019 really tried to up the ante with the action. But then since then, storylines with humans has died off, and like you say, it's all about trying to just get these things on screen to have a big fight. So that's one thing I like about Monarch, because it's a mixture of both. It goes back to what made 2014 and King of the Monsters for me interesting and fun.
Yeah.
So without further ado, let's check out Monarch Legacy of Monsters Season 2.
Do you hear that?
This is not Kong.
And it's not Godzilla. This is something bigger.
We opened the rift to another world.
I did it. I pressed the button. I let the genie out of the bottle.
What's next? Consequences.
This Titan is like a god. And the sea creatures worship it.
Hundreds of thousands are in the path of this monster. And we don't know what it wants.
I'm gonna find a way to set things right. I promise. To destroy a monster takes another monster. We need Kong and Godzilla.
What if they make the situation worse? You're trying to play God. No man should play God.
I lost people I loved. Don't make the same mistake I did.
In the end, only one thing matters. Who wins?
Okay. What's that
Well-
sound like this? Scratching that itch.
I've got goosebumps. Now, I don't know about you, but that doesn't even look like a television series. It looks like a film. It looks
Yeah.
that good.
And I wonder if they're gonna kind of, somewhat play it off as that Titan X being sort of like the mythological kraken that used to sink ships all the time, because that's looked like a scene that you would see from like Pirates of the Caribbean or something like that. So that was cool.
Yeah, definitely. Like you see, they've upped the ante in terms of action and storytelling. But what I'm also liking is the enhancing on the human characters. So, as you know, we're introduced to a handful of characters in the first series, which basically was about a family looking for their father over a couple of timelines. And obviously, this is obviously picking up that storyline with the same characters, but also I like the fact that they brought Wyatt Russell and Kate Russell back, because what we thought happened, if you haven't seen it, but spoilers, we thought that we'd lost Kurt Russell's character, Lee Shaw. We thought he literally sacrificed himself for, obviously, to save them from the rift and the Ion Dragon when Godzilla emerges and takes it on. We thought he sacrificed himself to save them, and now he's back, and everything's just been upped. And to be honest, I'm more excited for this than I am Supernova.
Well, we haven't seen anything from Supernova quite yet, but I think this is a good move because, one thing that you and I talked about after the first season was because of the fact that the first season was a little bit, it kind of dragged because of that story. We worried that maybe they might do, because they did say they were going to do a season 2 right away, but we didn't know if they'd ever go beyond it. I think if this turns out the way that this trailer looks, like it has all this action and stuff going on, it will push them to keep the series going, which is good because it means that they're actually taking the feedback seriously and that they want to make this as fun, as enjoyable as the movies have been. So I'm glad they're paying attention to that.
Yeah, but they've also announced a spin-off to Monarch Legacy of Monsters. They're doing another sequel set in the Cold War. That's going to feature which is going to be exclusively to Wyatt Russell. So the younger version of Wyatt Russell and Kurt Russell play the same character, Lee Shaw. So Lee Shaw, as you know, the older version is played by Kurt Russell, the younger version is played by Wyatt Russell, and the spin-off show in the Cold War era is only, I believe, going to be set in that era with Wyatt Russell playing the younger version of Lee Shaw. But I'm liking this because I'm liking how it looks, I'm liking how it feels. It feels like there's a real threat. Like, it feels like there's real consequences, there's real, there's real levels of a threat there, and like, there's real things that could go on that's going to be world damaging. And the thing is, though, what makes me laugh though with how epic these trailers and this story is, you've seen it how Titan X wrecks the cities and it's wrecked but then obviously there's no mention of these things in the newer films. It's like everything's contained to the show, where that's probably my only critique. That if you're going to show off an amazing Titan like Titan X, why isn't it being even mentioned in the movies? And hopefully it will in Supernova. Because it doesn't make sense if this thing's bigger than Kong, bigger than Godzilla, is walking around the oceans, going. You've just seen there is a modern scene where they're flying in like Tokyo or somewhere, or China, and it's basically with its tentacles wrecking skyscrapers, and then Godzilla's getting blasted by a jet. None of that's brought up in the movies, where they need to be more consistent in storytelling, not just have it contained within the movie. If it's a real joined-in world, they need to join it with the story and say, right.
Yeah, it depends on where it's placed. So we know that at the end of the first season, that was sort of like where the beginning of Apex became a thing. So that would have been before GVK. So it depends where this is placed in the storyline.
This is placed before King of the. It's set in 2015, I think, like the modern time. So 2015 is before Godzilla versus Kong, I think. Or is it? Yeah, I think it'll be before Godzilla versus Kong. So I think the events of King of the Monsters has already transpired.
Okay, because that's what thing that got me wondering, because Ghidorah, of course, being an alien species, had the ability to automatically call other creatures because it was an alpha. And so it would have been able to call this creature as well, because this is like a earthborn creature. So that is interesting. You make a good point about them kind of like not tightening up the loose ends about where these creatures are falling into the timeline.
And don't forget, though, she said in the trailer, she says, I basically released this Titan from this hidden dimension. So Ghidorah, even if it was set in the world of when the Monsterverse or when Ghidorah, the creature wouldn't have been released yet from this dimension, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And because it's from another dimension, who's to say Ghidorah's got the ability to, control it? Because as it said in this trailer, this thing seems to be controlling sea life.
Mm-hmm. Which is almost like Legion.
Precisely. Yes. And this also could set up what we've been talking about in your Kaiju Spotlight that we've just finished with Legion, how I said they could easily do a spin-off with Pacific Rim. Now, if they've hinted that they can open rifts to other worlds, who's to say they can't open it to an alternative Earth, which is Pacific Rim?
Maybe that's what they're thinking of doing. That would be cool, because I know they've been toying with the idea to try to do a crossover. So if they actually do it, that would be a good way about approaching that.
Yeah, well, if they're doing a spin-off to Monarch, and then they're also doing a Pacific Rim television show, the possibilities of them crossing over is looking more likely now.
Yeah.
But overall, the trailer was epic. It actually blew me out the water. It didn't feel like a trailer. It felt like a movie. And it actually feels like a direct follow-up to King of the Monsters, like the colouring, the blues, and all of that.
Haya, start now with the figurine for Titan X. Start now.
Yes, just keep bankrupting me, then all. Yes, because I haven't actually done any figure. No one's actually done any figures from the Monarch television show.
Well, do they even have one? Because I thought the Frostvark was very cool. But I don't know if I've ever seen an actual figurine of it.
I think there was a more kiddified one from Playmates.
Yeah.
But if we want a high-end retail one by Higher or SH Montserrat.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure if Titan X is as popular as it's going to be, I'm assuming someone's going to eventually make one. Yeah. But what's coming up on the Metal Tavern Radio?
So later tonight, I have an interview with Derek Ronk, actor, for his newest movie, 267 with Neko. Then tomorrow, get with Mr. Tony the Dead for Ghouls of Midnight. My pick is Revenge of the Living Dead Girls, and his is something Devil Children 5 or something. I have to get back, remember what the title was, but it actually has a different name too. I even found out the other day that this DVD that Tony got me, I think, which is the Werewolf, Underground Werewolf.
I bought you that.
Did you?
That's the one you got in mystery box.
Yeah. So, but it turns out that I figured out what movie that is under the American name that's called Cellar Dweller, which I've seen. And it's a good film, but at the time I sit and I go, this doesn't sound familiar. I've never heard of it. But then I'm looking at the box and I'm looking at, because I was going to think about picking it for my Ghouls of Midnight. And I'm looking at wait a minute, this is Cellar Dweller. So I thought that's cool as shit, but it went under a different name at some point. So mine is obviously an unrated version. So
it must have been marketed, because I'm sure the one I got you, it's German, but it's still in English. So it might have been marketed in other countries as a werewolf film. Because
because the creature is more like almost looks like a Ghoulies demon, but yeah, they definitely had marked it as something else. That's why it confused me. I was like, I've never heard of this, and then, but then I saw the back and I'm looking at it and going, oh wait a minute, this is Cellar Dweller. And then Neko and I, we'd actually just watched Cellar Dweller for the hell of it the other night, for just out of the blue, because I hadn't seen it in years. And then I go, wait a minute, this is Cellar Dweller. So I thought that was funny.
Well, there you go. That's what we've got coming on the Metal Tavern Radio. As for me in the entertainment headquarters this Friday, me and my good co-host, Mr. DJ Anubis, are joined by Thrash Pandopons, and we're going to be talking all things Omega Man from 1979 with Charlton Heston. That's the next classic. And then actually the following day, I've just remembered, I think you said you can't be a part of it. It's the next Kaiju Connections, and we're going to be talking Konga. A kaiju film I have not seen, so this is going to be interesting to watch to see what that's all about. But anyway, thank you for joining me, my friend. Thank you for everybody. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Metal Tavern Radio. Please like, share, and subscribe if you wish to the entertainment headquarters. But until next time, let us know what you thought of Monarch Legacy of Monsters Season 2. Do you prefer the shows to the movies? Let us know in the comments below. Who's your favourite kaiju? Let us know. But until next time, keep on enjoying your movies. Keep on enjoying all things entertainment. And we'll keep you all, and we'll think about you all at the next one.